Yo, what is good, my quick crypto family and my coin factory family? Back again with another daily Casper crypto live stream, and boy oh boy do we have a very exciting announcement to get into in today's stream. Confirmation from Casplex and the insiders that the public testnet, the layer 2, is going to be coming out this month. We already knew that, but it is going to therefore be before the end of this month, before the end of the week. Therefore, in the next 2 to 3 days, we're going to see the release of this test, and we'll get into that post in just a moment. Very, very big news. But alongside that and other big developments we'll get into in this stream, we are seeing Casper currently down 6% on the daily time frame. All of crypto currently down for the most part. Bitcoin's currently down 1.34% on the daily time frame. Why? What's going on? So we're going to get into all of that in today's stream as well, obviously covering the good news, the bullish news, and what it will mean for crypto and of course for Casper, but also what's currently going on in the markets right now, why I personally believe we are seeing a correction in Bitcoin and crypto. At least this is what I've seen so far, unless something else has come up that I have not seen just yet. For me, it seems to be again based on the bonds and yields. We'll get into that in a moment. But as it stands right now, I am still not worried. You know, people are probably still wondering with crypto correcting, with Casper now losing that support level around 10.3, although in my opinion the support is not exactly a straight line. Support, I mean, I draw a line for simplicity, but for me, support zones have always been areas, and for me, 10.3 to 10 has been the support right here. So if we lose this zone, bottom of the support here, then we might be seeing it correct further. If I'm to hazard a guess, I'd say probably around 9.5 to 9.2 cents around here, which I'll showcase my beliefs exactly why in a moment. So therefore, we'll get into all at the moment, but equally, yes, Casper, good stuff's coming along, and all of that, I'll get to my thoughts in order, and the flow of the stream will start making sense in a moment. But if you enjoy this content, as always, the daily live streams, leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. I do believe that, you know, while pullbacks are happening, a reversal, again, is imminent. Casper still, despite this corrective behavior right now, is still in the process of seeing a bullish momentum pattern, forming higher highs and forming higher lows. So for the most part, still nothing to be greatly concerned about. If anything, not financial advice, you could take this opportunity to DCA and scoop a little bit more Casper while it is down. Maybe if you choose to, not financial advice again, to trade it as well. You can use BYDFI. I have a link, affiliate link in my description below where you can also, if you choose to, get many benefits by signing up through there and also trade and buy Casper on there. Of course, you know, once more, if you're actually buying Casper, I would send it to my Tangent wallets, but if you're trading it, then by means, do as you will. But that being said, welcome everyone again to the stream. Dimitar, brother, first, my man, welcome back. Having a great day so far, and you too, go through damn second again. Hey, at least you're here early, brother. Great to have you here, my man. And you too, DD, hello, my man. Great to have you back again. Mr. Miles says third. I mean, it's going up. You know, it was second yesterday when he was like 50th, and now at third when he was probably about 10th. So, you know, doing better. Welcome back, my man. And you too, Falco, your brother, and Yue, hello, my man. And Kryptoni, Brett, everybody, welcome back. LB reporting for duty, sir. You know it. Welcome back, my man. Hope you had a very, very good day so far. We are not in a good phase, especially if Bitcoin falls a little bit more. Yeah, we are in a bit of a situation, to put it lightly. Based on, I think right now also the investor sentiment is, you know, heavily after the durable goods report, which was, you know, not as bearish, not as negatively as analysts were anticipating. It was still bad. So therefore people are, you know, fearing the worst for the upcoming PCE data, which is going to be released on Friday. So Bitcoin's now seeing some corrections. For me, I think we may see Bitcoin come back down maybe in the 100k zone. Well, we're in 100k zone right now, more like maybe this zone back down here. I'll draw a box again, probably around here. We can see Bitcoin come back down again, give or take. But again, also, yeah, look at the M2 money supply once more. You do see the M2 does suggest that we should be seeing a pullback. Like, it's not, you know, uncommon, unheard of. Like, this is where, if we line it up accordingly, we can see that it's meant to be a pullback around here anyways. So we're just seeing the pullback now. If I put it to the 70-day as opposed to the 80-day delay, so 10 weeks, you can see here that it does suggest we should be seeing this pullback right now anyways. So we're seeing the pullback right now, come back down maybe to 104, 103k, and then we'll make that straight move upwards following that. If again Bitcoin does follow the M2 accordingly, which it has been doing so for the most part as well. J, 10 cents long 5x got triggered today. Now we are going up. Well, yeah, honestly, that was a very, very nice position to start order to put in right there, and hopefully that position is going to be filled right now. I mean, we might see it come back down a little bit more from here. Again, if Bitcoin does come back down to the 105, 103k region, but at the same time, I do think, again, with smart contracts closer now and confirmed closer now, we could eventually see Casper make that push upwards as well in June. I think June's going to be, again, depending on the macro again and everything else, I think June right now is sizing up to be equally a very, very big month. And despite Casper's currently down right now, if you take it from May 1st, which May 1st, by the way, is here. May 1st is here. So May 1st, you're still technically up 14%. So while it has not been as big as April was, we are still in a green month for Casper so far. And hopefully we'll see it continue in that fashion from this one onwards as well. We moon yet? Not yet, Wing Hong. We've got some big announcements to get into that will hopefully see Casper start making some big movements very, very soon. What's everyone wearing today? Shirt. Naked on everything for Casper, Wing Hong. Well, there you go. Yeah, honestly. This bull run is taking its sweet time. I mean, yeah, it is, but the last cycle was also interesting because the last cycle we saw an early rally, or the first top and a double top. But that one equally, technically speaking, took a long time as well because you didn't start seeing alts properly take off till like August time. We are only in May. We've still got 3 months, or actually more so 2 months now. We're going into June now. 2 months less until August. So again, we've still got a lot more time ahead of, I believe. Broke on base. Yes, Nadehart, you have been quite a big advocate. And I mean, hey, your predictions, your call was very much correct regarding broke on base, as it has been seemingly doing very, very well from what I have seen so far. You can see here. Yeah, Nadehart did let us know beforehand, and for the most part, yeah, we have definitely missed out. But again, where I'll go from here, I don't know. Again, my involvement in memes, while still there, it's a lot more lackluster now. I've been doing more so trading in the VIP group, the VIPs in there as well, as opposed to memes right now. But I plan to get back into memes soon, as the meme market looks like it's going to start shaking up again very soon. That is crazy. That is crazy. But that being said, let's get into the content for today. So I'm going to start off with the good and title of the stream, and then get into kind of everything else taking place right now. So of course, the main headline right here, Casplex announced earlier today, Casplex will officially launch its layer 2 public testnet for Casper this month. This is a huge milestone ahead of imminent mainnet. So once more, we're going to see the public testnet, and then hopefully the mainnet should not take too long to follow in suit. And we'll delve in a little bit more about how long we think it may take in a moment. This release introduces full Ethereum virtual machine compatibility, a working faucet, and a growing set for developers tools, enabling builders to deploy smart contracts and test DeFi protocols in a live environment. The testnet is not just a preview, it's a critical phase of stress testing the network under real conditions. So they're inviting builders, infrastructure developers, early adopters, and everybody effectively to kind of experiment, build, push the limits of performance and reliability for this Casplex layer 2. And equally much more here, mainnet approaching very, very soon. This couldn't have been achieved without the 24/7 work done by the dedicated team. Here is to new beginners. That's a very, very, very big deal. I'm very, very happy about that. Of course, we've been waiting for smart contracts for a very, very long time. Of course, we wanted it to happen a lot earlier as well, but we have to make do with what we have been given. And I don't want to downplay it at all. This is a very, very big deal. And here, Egg Slonker 69 highlights here. I'm assuming that this means this week, correct? Considering that there's only 4 days left of the month, and Casper confirms here 100%. So confirmation here that when they've been saying this month, it's been a bit of a head scratcher, because we're thinking this month you're announcing it with only 6 days left of the month in May to go. So do you mean this month preemptively for June, or do you actually mean this month, so this week therefore? and they apparently have meant this week. So therefore, us being on the 28th of May on Wednesday, we've got until Saturday 31st of May, so 3 to 4 days now, until we will see the public testnet Casplex smart contracts, early sign smart contracts working on Casper, which is very, very good news. Very exciting news all around. And I've got to say, I'm excited to see what's going to be happening. I also want to, though, again, remind everybody here, think about KRC20. Remember, of course, yes, first Casper even compatible smart contract test is coming very, very soon. But remember KRC20 in September. When the first KRC20 launch came out, there were bugs, there were issues, and we saw Casper actually correct as a result of that, because people got very, very upset and bearish on it. Don't be surprised if you see bugs, downtimes, because this is still a public testnet. The whole point of this testnet is to see if there are any issues they've not taken into account because they haven't seen massive volume and adoption yet. Hopefully, and honestly, I hope there are issues. Because if there are no issues, I mean, that's obviously good news, but at the same time, it means that, you know, if you have a full live mainnet and then there are issues, that's going to cause more FUD. If you're having issues in the testnet, that's, you know, expected. So I hope there are issues. I hope they can overcome them very quickly. And the quicker there are issues, the less issues there are as well. The sooner we can see the mainnet released on Casplex, on Casper as well. And therefore smart contracts functioning up and running on Casper. So by this logic, therefore, I'd like to, this is me assuming, but based on everything that Casper Doors also highlighted in the past as well, he said we will be seeing native smart contracts on Casper before Q3. We're seeing the public testnet coming out this week. And then we're going to likely therefore be seeing the mainnet coming out relatively soon afterwards, as Casplex also confirmed here, approaching rapidly. So I'd like to assume we'll see it in mid-June. I'm not going to say early June, of course it could happen. I'd be very happy to see that, but I'm going to say mid-June. So maybe, given that Casper historically always does very, very well around the FOMC meetings, maybe, or the Fed report data, whatever that means, maybe Casper ends up having this announcement, the Casplex smart contracts, around the FOMC meeting. Again, it's me just throwing kind of random numbers out there, but it's going to be exciting stuff. And there's a lot of very big things taking place in June as well that will hopefully start, you know, not just the M2 money supply, also the macro fundamentals for adoption and regulatory frameworks and whatnot that will likely indicate for June to be a very, very good month for crypto, for Bitcoin and Casper, of course, with its first well, not even its first, sorry, that's not even correct to say that, but giving it some proper real use case now with smart contracts with 10 bps as well is going to likely see a lot more volatility and volume coming through as well, which will be very, very exciting stuff. And we can see here Castle Wallet. Showcase retweeted the post here from Zeta Swaps saying, noticing anything new, ready for layer 2. Ultimately, Zeta Swaps will also, you'll be able to use the Castle Wallet on Zealous Swaps as well. Now, again, Zealous, for the most part, I have not, the only negative thing that I have heard regarding Zealous, again, is the community sentiment behind their pre-sale or their, you know, their token sale, the Zeal token. Other than that, I haven't seen anything that has made me lose faith in them. Again, always be sure to do your own research, trade at your own discretion. Zeal could be a very it could be, again, maybe the next big thing, the main DEX and AMM, automated market maker, coming to Casper, maybe the main one that's used, but maybe it's not trusted. Again, do your own research. But we're seeing again Castle Wallet's going to be on Zeta Swaps. We're seeing these platforms that will end up launching and likely functioning as intended in the next couple of weeks, which is exciting stuff all around. And according to Raul here, he asked AI what happens when Casper smart contracts go live, and AI stated that once smart contracts are activated, Casper unlocks a full decentralized application migration from Ethereum, Solana, and others, and builders will no longer just use Casper as a backend, they're deployed directly on it. With parallel block processing, 1 second finality, no MEV, ultra low energy use, and near zero fees, Casper becomes not just another layer 1, but a real-time scalable and fair execution layer. And again, this is going into what Shai stated a while back about how in the future to be, there's likely going to be a possibility and a future where the entire blockchain industry will end up adopting Casper as a layer 1 sequencer because of its technology being so superior and it's in their best interest as well to utilize it, to leverage it, to make their own platforms and their own software, their own protocol itself a lot better as well. Now we have got that, of course, being very, very good news, and I'm now going to answer some questions and then come back around to explaining part of the reasons why we are seeing such heavy corrections, or I say heavy correction, why we're seeing corrections for crypto, heavy ones for Casper right now, and I can speculate probably why. There are probably a number, I think I've got 3 reasons why you might be seeing a correction for Casper today, and I'll get into all of that in a moment. Before I do, let's get into some more questions right quick. Red Pit, I pray Casper gets back to 16 cents so I can finally sell and buy next bear. I mean, I do think Casper will reach 16 cents quite comfortably. If you want to exit your position at 16 cents, by all means, go for it, brother. I think Casper can go a lot higher than that from here. But again, that's completely up to you as your own investor. I'm selling at $16. Well, it might take a bit longer, Wing Hong, but I mean, I do see that's a possibility in the future as well. Selling at 60 cents is crazy early, autumn high of 22 cents. Yeah, that's what I mean. I believe, I mean, again, Red Pit, I mean, everyone, each their own, you're your own investor. You might decide you want to sell at 16 cents. You might have gotten in very early. You made a big gain, so you want to sell to then put your positions elsewhere. End of the day, it's completely up to you. No one's, I mean, I'm not telling you how to invest. That's not my role here. All I'm telling you is the news sources. And again, 16 cents for me, I think Casper quite comfortably will reach that again, probably in June. And then, you know, with how much longer left of the cycle, I think Casper can equally and quite easily surpass all-time highs and then some. But that's, again, my personal belief. What's up, DC Bro? Jay, is there a schedule for the release of the various flavors of smart contracts? Is there a table to compare the relative capabilities they will bring? I don't believe there is right now. I know Casplex are about to release their mainnet seemingly in June. IGRA, I believe, is going to be a Q3 thing, and Project Sparkle will be maybe late Q3, early Q4 release. Again, we haven't got too much confirmation regarding those two about when they're going to be releasing their, you know, layer 2s and, you know, their smart contract capabilities and whatnot. We haven't got an idea yet, which again, that's part of the issue with Casper, because a lot of it is rumors. And of course, you know, the rumors are coming to fruition, but it's just, it's all, you know, it's the uncertainty. Again, the biggest thing that investors hate is FUD. They hate it more than bad news. They hate FUD, and uncertainty is the part that frustrates people. So not knowing when these big developments are coming about, we know that a rough time frame, but not an actual date, is frustrating. Even now with Casplex saying, you know, coming this month, and Casper confirming that's going to be coming before the end of the month, before the end of the week. We still haven't got a date yet. We know the next 4 days, we haven't got a date just yet. So I do personally believe that one of the 3 reasons I'm going to get into right now of why Casper's correcting right now is because of this Casplex news. It's big news, of course, it's very, very bullish, but there may be an incentive from the traders that with the smart contracts about to come out, and it's going to be a testnet, again, they're preparing for a repeat of what happened with KRC20 the first time when we saw a lot of, you know, issues around here. You saw a lot of issues with KRC20 the first time around before they relaunched it, and it was very successful. So maybe they're preparing for that, dumping it in anticipation for, and again, hopefully a success going forward, a mainnet launch, and then rallying up as well. And again, if you draw up the, you know, the Fibber tracer, for example, that I've been drawing out the last few streams, Casper does still have this golden pocket down here at 9.1, 9.2 cents to come down to. So it's also a possibility that we may see Casper come back down to this, to again this level that I drew out earlier in the stream, between this 9.5 to 9.1 cents here, and then we might see it then find that support and then make a rebound again. But we still are, remember, if much of this big news coming out and this hopefully will stem the bleeding for Casper, we are still very much in a Bitcoin dominant market. So with Bitcoin dominance so high right now, we are all at the mercy of Bitcoin. So what happens to Bitcoin will happen to everything else as well. What exactly does public testnet mean? Is it a test network but open for the public, for devs to test on? I mean, yeah, I mean, it's the same way how we saw KRC20 the first time round, where, you know, you can remember KRC20, you have a test platform that serves to finalize the product. So it's going to basically be exactly the same thing as the mainnet would be, but it's just, you know, not fully released to the public. Yeah, effectively the public testnet is just trying to say it's a test network. It's going to be running off Testnet 10 or 11. So it's basically going to be the exact thing it would be, but instead of it being launched on the 10 BPS mainnet, it's going to probably be released on the 10 BPS testnet. But it's still going to be functioning, the only difference will be where you go to, access it effectively. Will native smart contracts supersede the IGRA and Casplex implementations? The details around all this stuff seems vague. It's a good question. So from my understanding, the native smart contracts will not necessarily supersede, but kind of blend in with it. So you mainly got Casplex right now who are releasing their smart contract capabilities really, really early with Ethereum Virtual Machine, and then IGRA are going to be releasing their own stuff a little bit later on, which will have, I guess, some form of similarities and differences. And then once native smart contracts come out, thanks to Project Sparkle, then you'll see kind of, it won't supersede IGRA and Casplex, it'll more so kind of just blend it all together. And allow it all to kind of mesh together. Again, my explanation is probably not the best either, but to my understanding, it won't necessarily supersede them, but kind of help elevate them together. I mean, for example, again, KYC tokens, which is effectively an element of smart contracts, these will be upgraded to these native smart contracts when they come out. That's been confirmed from Nacho and the Project Sparkle team already. This could come all the way at the end of the cycle. Don't want to be a Casper hostage anymore. Lost 2 full years holding, and thank God I bought Tau, Pepe, and Turbo and other bags. I mean, again, yeah, I that's also an understandable sentiment. A lot of people in the community are frustrated with how lackluster Casper has been for the last 2 years. Again, probably because they bought in from the Moonboy sentiment that was sold to them about how Casper's going to be $10 and $50 a cycle because of how early it rallied. And again, everyone was running that hype train, and then it's come down quite significantly and had a very, very... It's one thing if you come down sharply. That's one sentiment that I do. I understand and empathise with other community members and holders. It's one thing when you're, Sui or Sei or Tau, where, you came down very, very sharply. Although, arguably, Tau has had a very similar run to Casper. Actually, very, very similar run to Casper, arguably. But, these projects came down from their all-time highs in just a 3-4 month time frame. Whereas Casper had a very, very long, drawn-out, slow bleed for 9-10 months. It's now doing better. Now doing a lot better. And it's likely to continue in this fashion, in my belief. But, of course, with such a long bleed and, of course, being sold false promises earlier on, the sentiment is just kind of like, I just want to break even, I want to take my profit and just go elsewhere, and that's fair enough. Now, for me, I'm not doing that. That's just me personally. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a holder of Casper, a believer of Casper. I do the research, and I back my conviction in what I'm holding with my research. And for me, Casper has had this whole run earlier. For me, it was just, deemed as the FOMO run, where people found out who the developers were, how their accolades, who they were, how big they are. They had the Marathon partnership, you had the KI announcement, all this sort of stuff that was, helping it price and rally up higher and higher. The miners probably also contributed to pumping the price higher as well. And then the FOMO died out because Casper at that point, while it was still the most innovative trilemma-solving crypto project ever, it didn't have any, application to be utilized properly. Didn't have 10 BPF, didn't have smart contracts, didn't have stable coins. So that FOMO died out. And then it's been fizzling out continuously since then. KYC came out, and that gave it a little bit of a boost. And then it came back down again. Because then the memes started stealing liquidity from Casper as well. Now you're seeing 10 BPS coming out. Now you're seeing smart contracts coming out. So now that FOMO is going to start coming back with the use case stuff coming out as well, provided we get adoption as well. But yeah, I think this whole early cycle actually, has frustrated people. So I'm not surprised that people wanting to sell. And again, that's why I do believe that this area here in particular, I think it's going to be quite a tough one, because there's a lot of people who are just frustrated, who just want to just take profits, and that's completely up to them, completely fair enough. I think 20 cents is going to be the hardest level of resistance for us, quite evidently, and people just take profit, and that's perfectly fine. Now, me again, I'm not going to. I still think Casper has a lot more room in the cycle. I think it's going to surprise a lot of people. My only hope is that it'll reach my expectations, and equally people will be very happy it didn't sell throughout this whole time if you choose to hold still. But I mean, stuff like Tepe, I mean, Turbo has done very, very well since it came down here. Pepe has equally done decently well from what I've heard recently. Tau, depending on when you got into it, I mean, Tau again has had a very similar market to Casper. So again, and that's not, again, I don't want to make it sound like I'm trying to pick on you, Brad, because that's not at all in the slightest. I actually, again, respect your conviction and your own decision to do your own research and trade your discretion. Like, again, you're your own investor. You do what's right for you. So again, I completely respect for your decision and what you want to do. And that's perfectly fine. I just, again, for me, I personally am saying Casper. That's all I'm trying to highlight. Do you believe Casper will drop below 7 cents per form contracts? Unlikely. Anything's possible, of course. Anything is possible, but for me, Casper right now, unless we see Bitcoin come down drastically, like we see a shock crash come down to like 100k down here, or even maybe a little bit lower, then unlikely. Right, Bitcoin's currently forming this stairway to heaven type of thing right now, and it might very well again come down to this zone down here in conjunction to the M2 money supply again, come down to here. But I think Casper right now is still forming this bullish pattern, and provided it stays in this fashion, then we'll see Casper probably come down to maybe 9.2, 9.1 cents around here, before then seeing that reversal with smart contracts again on the horizon, stablecoins therefore on the horizon, potentially listings on the horizon as well. Again, we are going to see a lot more movement in June. So I think coming to 7 cents, which would be, a 20, 30% correction from here is quite high. Not impossible, but I think it's quite high. And before I get to all the questions though, I'm going to get into a bit more of the news sources. So one of the reasons that I believe Casper corrected so heavily right now is because, again, it's the rumor news element of smart contracts about to be coming out. Now, you would think that would pump the price, and it normally does do. But again, because it's very, very well, you may therefore see that people are, treating it in the opposite, where people are trying to be like, okay, get ahead of smart contracts. We suspect this public test is going to be a failure like KYC 20 was. Therefore, we're going to dump in anticipation, price it in. And then once it's been adjusted, bugs been fixed, and the mainnet comes out, then you see the price pump from there. That's a possibility. There are two other reasons as well. One, which is the reason why the market's correcting right now, is the bonds market again. So after a brief intermission, we are back. The 10-year note yield is rising towards 4.5% again today, with equities having now turned red. So ultimately, with these bonds increasing and rallying in price, this is therefore perceived as there's too much risk, too much instability in the economy. So during this time, these bonds are now deemed as more attractive to investors, as a safe haven, if you will, and therefore making investors, peel away from on-risk assets and more towards the quote-unquote safe havens, which are typically being bonds and or gold. So that's why you're seeing equities and crypto turning red today, because the bonds are rallying higher, which is frustrating, but again, that's the sign of our economic instability right now. And then the other reason is actually people are saying Mexi manipulation. It looks like it was actually a little bit more than that. So we have this post here from Cat Dog, update on Change Finance, which I'm sure many of us remember Change Finance. They were a, exchange was trading Casper products and whatnot, and people use them quite a lot. I know, I think CG's community was very, very involved in them, and that's not me again trying to shade on CG at all. It's not my intention. Again, I'm just highlighting that I never actually used Change, truth be told, but I know a lot of people did use it, and not too long ago they actually basically rugged the community. So we've got this update here. They trace deposits from wallets funded over to equal to 85% of Change, and found that 332 million Casper have been sent to exchanges, mostly to Mexi. 5 known Change wallet tools were used and all this sort of stuff to help do this sort of stuff. They made a whole report on it here as well. So this has let us know, therefore, it makes sense that while Mexi are seemingly contributing to the manipulation, and they probably are still to blame, it looks like it wasn't just the Mexi team in of itself. It looks like the Change team was sending the stolen Casper to Mexi. And they sold over 300 million Casper, which is not a small mark. I mean, again, when you think about how much Casper in circulation right now, you've got over 20 6 billion. So you've got a lot of Casper right now. So again, it's quite small in the grand scheme of things of circulation, but 300 million Casper is not a small feat either. You look at the wallet addresses right now, you can see how much Casper is being held by MEXC. You've currently got 526,000, almost a bit more than that, and Change is currently holding over 1 billion. So you're seeing 30% effectively, 30%, you could argue 30% therefore of their Casper is stuff that's been stolen from chain finance. So yeah, some people did lose money about them, and of course, if you did lose money, my heart's again go out to you. I do apologize on their behalf. Not that it's going to make you feel any better, of course. Again, I didn't use Change Finance, and I guess in that regard, I'm quite lucky. It always comes down to, again, make sure you do your own research, but the problem is sometimes research is not enough. Well, it is enough, but sometimes very, very hard to find, because there are a lot of projects in this space, and there's even projects in this space that I've heard about that just aren't completely trustworthy. You've got to be very, very careful, of course. Of course, Change was one of them. You hold the whole thing of KDX a while back as well. Was it KDX? It was something. I don't think it was KDX. It was something that was maybe it was KDA. There was a project that tried to release their own decks as well, saying they were working with Casplex, and that was a lie as well. And that was back last year as well. So that's let us know that part of the reason why Casper's dumping right now is, again, bonds coming down, maybe again investor sentiment to dump before the release of smart contracts, anticipating the failure of this and the bug nature of this public testnet coming out in the next few days. And equally then Change selling to MEXC, and of course that therefore contributing to dumping the price and manipulating the price of Casper as well. Now there has been a bit of a development from this thread here, which I wanted to quickly cover as well, which is this here. So of course, going on top of what CatDog said here, Flux highlights here, I'm not sure how to get Zach involved and what he needs. Ultimately trying to, there was a bit of a conversation going back and forth about, maybe we get some other hackers and or developers to basically fight fire with fire and get back at Change somehow. I believe that's what this whole conversation is about here. And Zach, quite a large following. I'm not too well versed with Zach, truth be told. And again, that's partly on me. But Zach highlights here that he's not interested in taking on work in ecosystems who do not support my work. Only currently assist victims in Solana, Ethereum, OP, Arbitrum, Bitcoin ecosystems. Outside of these, no others have given grants, donations, or retained me. Thus, I will likely not help, as I've already received plenty of new inbound each day. If you're upset by this, then ask yourself, why should I work for free and why are you entitled to my services? Teams need to invest in good infra and not just cheap out so victims can take advantage of my goodwill. So it looks like, he just seems someone that does, try to assist people who have been taken advantage of in the hackers and whatnot. And, he's got a point here. He has got a point here that, if he's being paid to help assist victims, why should he do it out of his own good grace? Of course, you could just say it because it's a humane thing to do, but it's a dog-eat-dog world, Everyone's going to have their own vested interests, and it's not in his interest to help people for free. And he says, how would you possibly get a donation when you're not willing to discuss things with them? Translation, I do not want to work with a poverty chain, so a bit more aggressive now, I argue, like Casper, that cannot invest in basic tools like TRM, chain analysis, Etherscan, SoulScan, etc., that makes an investigation 10 times more time consuming when I already receive plenty of new inbounds as it is. So he's basically just saying, why should I have to spend more effort to try and help out Casper in their dilemma right now when there's so many tools that makes it easy for me that aren't available right now? And again, the term poverty chain, you could, you don't like hearing it. I don't think it's completely unfair to say, but I think there are other words you could have used. I think poverty is not the right word for me. Casper is just a very, very up and coming chain. I wouldn't say it's a poverty chain. I mean, it's not have VC backing and whatnot. So in that regard, I guess it is poverty compared to other ones, but it's a fair launch project. Now, Casper does reply to this saying here, to the first part here, saying, you've got this wrong. No one is saying to work for free and no grants topic is because Casper is not Solana or proof of stake networks to benefit from VCs. That doesn't mean that we cannot find funding. You sound a bit annoyed, but I get it from the pile of work you have on your plate already. It would be amazing if you could spend some time to understand Casper, if not already. And I'm sure we can help build a nice community around your work. And of course, to fund it, scammers are already in the Casper ecosystem and more will jump in once layer 2s are out. So your knowledge and resources will definitely help. Which I think, again, is a very fair comment from Casper here. And again, that's something that I also did take into account and consider as well, that while Zach is saying rightly, fairly as well, why should I have to spend my time and effort with, he's trying to say that because Casper's got no funding, so for free, therefore, to help you guys out from a situation that, happened. And Capital's highlighting here, Casper, while it's not got VC backing and whatnot, there is ability to get funding. You've got people like Casplex and KRI and these sort of ecosystems who can help fund the project. You've got initiatives set up for that. And I'm sure the community would equally be happy to chip in to help in this sort of situation, to help provide support to Zach. Casper has always been quite good in that regard. And then you've got here, Pelev here, who, similarly to what I've been saying right now, so he completely agrees with Zach here. Any programmable blockchain should have analytics infrastructure in place ASAP. The cost of these is lower than users usable to trace funds or builders abandoning the platform due to poor tooling. And again, Capital responds to this, and again, I think it's fair enough. All in due time, and building stuff is not copy and pasting from other chains. Look at CasFi, Casper.com, Cas Cas Media, and everything else people are building, but it takes time. People are investing their time, passion, and dedication with little to no return of investment. Sadly, there's no magic wand to rotate in the air and everything to be ready, but we will get there. So, yeah, I mean, it's for me an interesting discussion thread here. The way I see it is that, yeah, change seemingly took advantage of Casper, and it is a monumental letdown. They took advantage of the Casper community here, and they're the reason probably why we've seen Casper dump so much. Although Casper Crew does make a fair point here, which, considering that change has dumped over 300 million Casper on the market and we're still only 50% off all-time highs, that is relatively reassuring. Maybe bullish is not the right word, but we're only down 50% from all-time highs, and change dumped 300 million Casper tokens. That's not a small feat. It's quite a lot. And the problem is, again, with the smart contract and stuff coming out soon, you're going to see more and more people aim to take advantage of Casper. That's why, again, you've got to do your own research to be very, very careful. Of course, there will be tools and people coming out to help and develop and prevent this sort of stuff happening more so in the future. But because Casper's fair launch with open source, it's very easy for anybody with bad intentions to jump on board and trying to create something that's going to look appealing, but no good intentions at all, just to take your stuff like Change did. Now, again, maybe Zach will change his mind in the future when Casper develops more as a chain, there's more funding available, and he wants to be part of the kind of the future of crypto, if you will. But I think all arguments here are fair. At least I'm going to read the comments in a moment and see what you guys think as well, and girls who are watching as well. What did you think? But I think both are fair. I mean, again, you've got to understand that Casper's still very early on, and these things take time. So while the tools are not available right now, they will come in very, very soon. But again, without there being tools right now, it is fair enough to state that I'm not interested right now with everything on my plate to then also try and help out Casper when they haven't got the tools to make it easier for me and the funding as well to pay for my services. So I'm like, okay, fair enough. Honestly, fair enough. But yeah, these things will take time, and smart contract hopefully will, see a lot more funding, volume, activity, development, everything else coming to Casper to make it more of a desirable chain for people to jump on board as well, which will be very exciting stuff to see. Casper will explode in the bear market. That's why some launched one day after Bitcoin all-time high in 2021. I mean, maybe it will. Maybe some Polinsky's got a hidden strategy to make Casper pumping bears and dumping bulls. That'd be crazy, wouldn't it? What's up, Obi.Casper, Obi1.Casper? Hope you're doing very, very well, brother. Welcome back. Autumn Film, why are we dropping so much with so much good happening? I mean, you probably just heard me get into all of it right now. It's effectively because of, again, I think it's the manipulation of Casper through change, who'd be dumping Casper, that's come to light. The bonds that are dumping the whole market right now, but equally it's probably also because traders are anticipating the Casplex public testnet to repeat similar stuff to KRC20's first launch, which was a quote-unquote failure. It wasn't really a failure, but it had a lot of bugs and issues, and people weren't happy about this. So they're taking that as a possibility of happening again, and therefore dumping in anticipation. And then once the mainnet comes out and it's fully launched, we'll hopefully then foresee the reversal. But I have to wait and see again. Only a matter of time. Do you have any idea how long it will be before smart contracts on the mainnet? For Casplex, Casper is adamant it will be, before Q3, therefore sometime in June. We haven't got a confirmation date right now, but it should be within the next month. Within the next 30 odd days, we'll see Casplex launching their mainnet with smart contracts on board. There's no tier 1 listing exchanges, but there's a lot of evidence that they will list it at some point in the cycle. I mean, yeah, it's also true. Like, there is no evidence. There's no tier 1 listings. Well, apart from Kraken and Bybit, there's no of the big, Binance or OKX or Coinbase and them what's listing Casper yet. But they have showcased support of Casper. They have integrated into Casper already. So, Casper's available, or is integrated onto OKX and Binance already. I haven't listed it just yet though, but there's a lot of evidence to support that it will happen this cycle. When though, unfortunately, we still don't know. What's up? It's me. Hope you're doing very, very well. New coin BlockDAG will launch 2 weeks time. Can it be competing for Casper? Unlikely. We had already a project or coin. I think it was actually called BlockDAG or something like that. But there was a project that already came out. Everything. I mean, I say unlikely because I'm a Casper maxi, keep in mind, but also because everything that has claimed to be the so-called next Casper has failed. BlockDAG was a scam. There was one that called BlockDAG was a scam. Pyron went to zero and a scam as well. A0 was meant to be the Casper killer, and that's also now been rugged. So far, everything that's been claimed to be the next Casper has failed because, I mean, I think it's tough. If you're trying to create the next Bitcoin, so to speak, Bitcoin is finished as a product. It's not releasing anything else new. So making the next Bitcoin is always an achievable goal to an extent. Making the next Ethereum. I mean, there's still a lot you can do to Ethereum to make it better, but it's kind of a dinosaur chain. Again, it's possible to do so. Making the next Casper is a 3-year-old project that is still very early on in development. Doesn't got smart contracts coming out yet. Well, it's coming out soon, but it's not out yet. No stablecoins on yet. Making the next Casper, when it's still got a lot more to come out, doesn't sound feasible in my belief. It just doesn't make sense for me. There will definitely be one in the... Well, there's a likelihood there'll be one in the future. Possibly. I don't see why there couldn't be. Same way how you have a Casper technically be the next Bitcoin, you might see the next Casper in the future, but it won't be necessarily a short-term thing. Bitcoin came out in 2008. We're looking 17 years. 17 years, and then, it was 15, 14 years after Bitcoin that Casper came out. So it might take similarly that long for the next Casper to come out as well. I don't think BlockDAG... Again, I don't know too much about BlockDAG. I know there was a project called BlockDAG, I think, that was a complete scam. But I don't think it would be a competition for Casper just yet, personally. I only got in about a year ago, and if I have a ride... Oh, yeah. Technically speaking, I started streaming in August. So, I've been holding Casper for a while. I've been... making videos on Casper for equally quite a long time, but I started these daily live streams right here. And it's been a hell of a ride streaming every single day. More or less. This whole ride here. So I very much look forward to the day, for me, that's inevitably coming through, where we will see Casper surpass all-time highs and then some. And then when we're talking about, Casper's about to break out, it's going to be, Casper's now going to reach this price. Or, well, actually, we don't do price targets. We talk about what's coming out to Casper in terms of developments. Instead of talking about price so much about Casper all the time, we can start talking about actual developments. Once it's past all-time highs, the talk about price will hope to be lesser. I get liquidated on my long at 8.5 cents. I am hopeful that it won't get liquidated then, brother. 8.5 cents being around here. That would, technically speaking, form a lower... Well, it form a kind of a... I wouldn't say lower low, because I think this is arguably the lower low here, so it wouldn't be... You could see it come down here, but I'm, again, according to TA and my personal belief, I'm hoping that Casper won't correct below this golden fib around the 9.1. Where I can draw it out. The 9.2, 9.1 here. I'm hoping Casper will come down to here. It might come in the golden pocket a little bit, but I'm hoping it won't come down too far. But I have to wait and see again. Again, anything's possible. It does ultimately, again, depend on Bitcoin. Add margin to it. Again, also you could do that, add margin to it if you are worried about it. I don't get paid till Saturday. Well, we'll have to see, brother. Hopefully it plays out for you, though. I really do hope so. I believe that BNB or Crypto.com will come, maybe even OKX, but I didn't think it would be 30 billion market cap. I think you'll see Crypto.com and OKX for Casper. I think it's really Binance most definitely as well. Coinbase is one I'm skeptical about. But yeah, I think you'll see those stuff, and how high Casper will go again, we can debate till death do us pass. I still think it could do very well. Yeah, it's now officially in the 9 cents zone again. Bought Town Pepper earlier than I bought Casper, which was still 2 years ago. Oh, and then you're doing very well with those two then. I mean, again, Casper, I mean, the other projects have done very, very well. Casper has struggled comparatively, unless you got in much earlier down here. But again, I think Casper's still due for that next move. But that's, again, my personal belief. Casper seems to work opposite to the markets. I think that's actually a secret superpower. I imagine every time we enter a bear market, Casper enters the bull. In fact, exchanges may be engineering that. I mean, it does seem that way, but I mean, no one knows for sure, right? It does seem that way, but we have to just wait and see, really. If anything was going to pump in the bear, it would be Casper for me. Next bear cycle, because Casper's going to release some Dagonite around then, which is going to be literally the most innovative since Bitcoin's creation. But, you know, we'll have to wait and see. When Lambo, hopefully soon, brother. Hopefully very, very soon. And before we get to more questions, I'll get into more of the content real quickly as well. So we can see here, also quite interesting news. Casper Commons here made a post in response to KII here. Turns out the KII are making a new information series for the use cases across many different industries using telecoms. And they're using Casper Com to help them do that. So KII and Casper Commons, just for your information, Casper Commons is the original runner, or the original person who ran the Casper currency Twitter page, which unfortunately Casper currency has gone very, very silent now, because I think they're still debating over how they're going to run it. Because it's meant to be, again, not the official page, not how they wanted to do it. But again, the Casper currency he's now changed his own Casper Commons here, where he can do his own thing here. And KII is working with him to create information series about, you know, kind of the work they're doing with Casper. Bandwidth, trading markets, tokenized unused bandwidth capacity, allowing carriers to trade spectrum resources in real time. Infrastructure sharing, so smart contracts for towering, fiber sharing agreements with automated usage billing, dynamic spectrum allocation, zero knowledge KYC, which is again a very big factor. So privacy, preserving customer verification for regulatory compliance, which is a big thing. And then much, much more. So all this stuff will be coming out in due time as well, which is exciting. Again, seeing not just, it's more so just, again, bringing more understanding, more clarity to everything about Casper. Because the biggest problem with Casper right now actually is just understanding it. Like we were mentioning earlier, we haven't got a proper understanding of what's happening with smart contracts yet. Like how they differ between IGRA and Casplex and Sparkle. And what happens when native smart contracts come out. We haven't got a proper breakdown of what that actually happens, what it means. So hopefully we'll see more of this coming out with people actually providing us the information to help us give more clarity on what's happening as well. But that's very cool, and equally more Casper news as well. This is also quite interesting. Speaking of Mexi and their misuse of Casper, as I mentioned here, they are now, put it down here, the USD1 zone is live with 0 fees, and it's time for the next round of voting. So which coin should be listed next? We can vote here, and of course, we're going to vote Casper. And not surprisingly, Casper is winning by a large margin. So Casper does not win this. Something's going wrong here. But Casper is winning by a large margin. You got 1,500 votes. So again, make sure you vote family. So Casper can get some 0 trading fees on Mexi. Again, if you still choose to use it, I understand if you don't use Mexi. Not necessarily the most trustworthy right now. In other news, again, negative market sentiment, but things for me are still looking upwards. We've got here from Smoke, May 22nd, which is, you know, a week ago, the 2025 update on crypto regulation in the United States. They highlight here that from the DBS Bank, that a working draft for a comprehensive digital asset regulation bill is currently circulating, signaling bipartisan momentum for clearer rules in the crypto space. So we already got the stablecoin bill kind of circulating. We're going to see the next one coming out as well. We're seeing more and more regulations coming out to America, which should be a very, very big thing to lead to more momentum in the market coming through, with more institutional adoption and capital coming to crypto. Trump has also announced that he's considering the offer, or Canada's considering the offer, to become the 51st state of the United States, which, again, what that means for Canada and the world is to be determined, really. I'm not sure how you Canadians feel about that. I'm sure you're not the most happy about that, because people don't like Trump. FTX apparently is also going to be beginning distribution over $5 billion in stablecoins to creditors on May 3rd, which is only in 2 days, at the same day the PCE data as well. So maybe May 3rd could be a big day for us. Who knows? And other news as well. Also, Circle has filed for an IPO on the New York Stock Exchange, which is quite big, seeing crypto going more mainstream. And BlackRock apparently is going to acquire 10% of USDC issuer Circle IPO shares as well. So again, because BlackRock going to control the biggest stablecoin issuer, or the most trusted stablecoin issuer in crypto. And Circle also talking to Casper as well, keep in mind. So that for means you might see BlackRock have even more ties into Casper as well, which would be quite big for us, I'd argue. Again, Casper's going to just keep rallying from here, in my belief, in due time. Casper's now below 10 cents. Yes, it is, because the market. I mean, why Casper coming back down 7% is quite crazy. You know, it's coming down very aggressively today, which is surprising. I think it's based on the revelation of change finance. The Casplex announcement, while good, again, people are anticipating some issues with the public testnet that tend to happen with the KYC 20, so they're preparing for that. Again, we don't hear about Tau new developments yet. The price keeps rising. Yeah, that's also quite true. I mean, Tau are just kind of doing their own thing, really, and I think Tau, again, being an AI project, will probably do quite well. Casper always devs something new, price down. Casper always devs something new, price down. I mean, yeah, Casper does seem to always. I mean, the price of Casper has been struggling for a while. I mean, again, it's one of those ones. People no one complained about Casper's price up here, you know, in August, but since then, and since it's come back down so far, people are now saying Casper had a very, very bad year. This was fine. This whole session was fine here. It's up here when it started coming down was the problem. But people don't, you know, people aren't saying that this is the issue, or this is when the Casper went bad. They're saying it was now the whole year because the price came back that far. Which again is a matter of perspective. Tau is heavily manipulated, and there are also numerous paid Tau YouTubers. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I think Tau do have some centralized validators, apparently, from what I saw. They're proof of intelligence as well. Zach is 100% right. I mean, yeah, again, I think both arguments are completely valid. I think both arguments are completely valid. I mean, Zach's completely right in saying I don't want to dedicate my time and effort and energy with little to no pay to help you guys out. Fair enough. I managed to get out of 0 and change fund before they rugged. I have a 6 cent for this stuff. Well, maybe you should start advising all of us then, DC. You seem to know what's happening, brother. What's up, Stack Bundles, man? Hope you're doing very, very well. I have some quant, enjoying the nice pump today. I DC'd heavily into it at $60. Any thoughts on how high it may go? Have a quick look at QNT. Quant, shall we? Right now, quant is up 1% on the daily time frame. Has had a very nice rally over the last 3 days. Up total of 26 overall, and about 20% since that run. If you look back to where it peaked the last cycle, we saw quant started, you know, $400, $431. If it returns to all-time highs, of course, that would be a 4x from here. Could it do so? Who knows? I mean, I know people are saying XRP can reach $10 a cycle, and quant and HBAR and Algorand are all kind of perceived to be in a similar bracket in the sort of real world asset space, and quant equally has a very, you know, it's going to be a very, very integral part of this system as well, from what I've seen as well. So maybe quant returns to all-time highs. I did hold quant. I don't hold it anymore, just purely because I wanted to put more into Casper, if I'm honest. Nothing against quant at all. I just want to put more into Casper there. Quant could, I don't see why quant couldn't return to all-time highs based on what it is, and obviously it has its, you know, insider VC backing as well that can help pump its price. So if that's the case, then yeah, maybe quant can return to all-time highs at least. You know, 4x, that'd be quite good. Let's wait and see though. Again, not financial advice, just very on the surface look at it. If we look at on CoinMarketCap right now as well, which give me a bit more, not CMC, a bit more insight about it as well. 1.4 billion market cap. Volume's at 61 million. You know, you've got the total supply, circulating supply, so quite a lot seems to be out, which is quite reassuring. 81% is in circulation. Obviously, he's got all the major exchanges as well. Very, very good. And they've got some, the reason why it's pumping right now seems to be based on these developments as well. But yeah, I think Quant is one that probably could return to its all-time highs, if not maybe a little bit further than that as well. We'll have to wait and see though. Casper expects everything for free. I mean, it's a fair launch project. Bitcoin's no different, you know, in that regard. Casper expects everything for free. Casper is a fair launch project. You know, they haven't got anyone who's paying for stuff. You know, these developers don't have the money to pay for things. It's not how they roll. So I wouldn't say it's a matter of expecting. It's a matter of they just don't have the money. It's just not what they're doing. Sup, Greg, both of you doing very, very well. Hope you do very, very well, brother. I'm late, but still here watching a replay. Well, hope you're enjoying the replay so far, brother, and you can understand me despite I'm speaking quite quickly. I know I'm speaking quite quickly today. I'm trying to slow it down, but I can't. Sounds a lot like FUD means time to buy more capital at low prices. Hey, honestly, it probably is. What's up, Massimo, bro? You're doing very, very well. I find it hard to believe that we will see another altcoin season this year. Everything is simply different this year. And I mean, yes, everything's very different this cycle as well, but we will see an alt season. Remember, again, ETFs are still going to be coming out. Highly likely this cycle. As you will start approving them, you'll see XRP, Solana, and many, many more ETFs coming out. That will also trigger alt season as well. We are currently in May. We have months left of this cycle still. Right now, at least, it seems to be months left. So the same was said last cycle as well. People said not going to see an alt season last cycle. When Bitcoin went up here and then came down, people said the market's over. We were down 55%. Everyone was saying the market's over. And then we saw it rally up again. We didn't see assets like Solana take off until here. So, you know, the cycle this time is different. Alts have definitely bled a lot more, because more, as you know, more investment into Bitcoin from institutions. But we will get an alt cycle. I still think we'll see an alt season, no doubt. The true value of Casper is what it'll be worth in a 2021 bull run, where it could hit $50 or $100 and beyond. I mean, Casper's value will be, you know, put on full display in the future to come as well. And I think you'll see early signs of that this cycle as well, with the KRI and everything else coming out as well. Next earlier, and Cedra couldn't even make a successful fork. People think that they will be the Casper killer. I mean, exactly. That's what I mean. Again, not that you have so many projects out there that claim to be the Casper killer, but they have all fallen short. So right now, and again, it might be my maximalist mentality, I refuse to invest in anything else that is not, that says, if they say the Casper killer, I just choose not to believe them right now. There will be an alt season this year, I agree. Bitcoin whales not ever converting big funds to other projects claiming to be better than Bitcoin. Not an item at least. You say that, but Bitcoin maxis are actively acknowledging that Casper is, you know, there. Don't get me wrong, Bitcoin maxis have constantly and Wells have constantly said we don't want to go to anything else that's not Bitcoin. But you're seeing for the first time Bitcoin maxis actively acknowledging Casper. You've seen it. The price is down right now, but you've seen it. Marathon, of course, diversifying into Casper. While they sold a lot of their Casper bags, they're still mining Casper. So Bitcoin whales and maxis do see Casper. Not all of them are converted. You'll see some come over. Casper peaked 2023, also true. I mean, again, it peaked here. It's awesome how it was there, but I know what you mean. It peaked in 2023. Yeah, I mean, again, I understand Casper being a frustrating hold, and again, I'm not. If you want to sell, but again, that's completely up to you. Again, up to you. I really, with respect, I don't care what people do about the money. I'm not here to say do this with your money. That's not me, because I'm not a financial advisor. I'm simply just giving the news and what's happening in the space, and talking about what it may mean for the project in my beliefs. If you don't believe me, that's perfectly fine. No one has to believe in me. I don't care. If you want to sell your Casper because you don't believe in the project, I give you it. I don't care. It's perfectly fine for you. You're more than happy to do what you want to. I just still have belief that Casper can do very, very well. I mean, we're in May right now. Going into June right now. We're halfway through the year. And we still haven't got regulatory frameworks coming through. We haven't got the regulatory frameworks out yet. Being a big market mover, most likely. We still haven't got a lot of other significant developments. We haven't got any Fed money printing just yet. We're still in a lot of economic instability right now. All this stuff is going to hopefully be smoothed out over the next coming months. We've still got a lot of catalysts to come through. So I'm not worried about where crypto's going to go this cycle. And capital will follow in suit. And then some. Early miners, early buyers made millions. I mean, yeah, you got in early, you make the profits, of course. only KI and tier 1s can save us this cycle. I mean, there'll be a big contributing factor, definitely. What's up, Buffalo bro? You're doing very, very well. Good to have you back, brother. And no, better late than never, man. It's in a full chasement, and after it's finished, chasing looks like it's going to be a blast off. I mean, again, based on the M2 supply saying it's going to blast off in June, based on smart contracts again coming out, I think that the blast off is on the horizon. Did we go over the whole change to buckle? Yes, we did already. That's already. I mean, I'll post this information in my free community server, which you can go click the link down below in the description, and equally on my homepage here as well to join if you want to. Yeah, I mean, we went over that already. I think that's why the map market's correcting right now for Casper as well. When I started attacking Casper, I used change. I had no problems back then last year. I mean, change again. People used change and it was fine. So they start stealing Casper. Hype down 11%, render 8.5, tower 5, undo 4.6, Sonic, Sui 5, Casper down 10%. It's not. I mean, yeah. Exactly. I know it's not just Casper that's down. Casper's down quite a lot right now, 7%. But I mean, everything right now is down. Some are down more than others. So I mean, I'm really not worried about how far Casper's down right now. Again, we've seen Casper come down more, and we've seen Casper also make big recoveries. You know, for me, it's not. I'm not worried at all about Casper's price. And I'm not trading Casper at least, so I'm not worried about it. I trade other assets, and I use BYDFI to do that. Which again, if you want to find out more with extra benefits, you can check the link down below in the description with the affiliate link. Also, we have a limited time campaign which actually ends tomorrow, a deposit new user campaign where if you join and you deposit some funds, you haven't even got to have trading volume, you can get extra USDT as well. Which again, the links to that are all, the information about that is my channel, my affiliate channel, and down below in the description as well. A little tip for miners who have machines that mine other coins. Today is a great day for using Unmineable to get Casper at the mining discount. The script miner has been making a lot of Casper. Well, there you go. Again, I don't mind Casper, doesn't bother me, but yeah, you can make extra money in Casper, then go for it. Zebek, I tried to tell everyone about it 2 years ago before they did their token swap. I don't hold Zebek, so I mean, I did hear there was some FUD about Zebek network very recently. I did hear about it, but I'm not too, again, I don't hold it, so I'm not too well versed about what's happening right now. Jay didn't leave food out for me when he left. Crazy. Crazy. Before everything break to all-time highs, there's a 10% Bitcoin drop. That's the drop before alt season looks like the charts. I mean, yeah, I think, again, the rally for crypto is... I'm still not worried that crypto's going to be going higher. How high, again, we'll have to wait and see. I think you'll see a leg up. Raul Powell saying you'll see it keep going up till August in the banana zone. And then we'll see it come back down from there. We have to wait and see. Again, we have to wait and see because the macro says one thing, but you've got to take into account all the fundamentals, the regulatory policies, all these sorts of stuff to help crypto rally up higher as well, more institutional investment as well. So... nothing's going to be just straight shooting upwards. Stuff will come back down as well. But I'm not worried. I mean, I'm going to take the opportunity right now to probably buy some more Casper, actually. We have a long bull run, thank God. Also, yeah, we seem to have a very good bull run ahead of us. Also very true. Completely right there. Look at December 2020 and November 2024, drop before the pump. I mean, yeah, you look at November here, 2024. Saw this drop here in Bitcoin, and then you saw it pump back up again, and then you look at December as well, 2020 down here, November there. Look at around this time frame here as well. You saw a big drop off here as well, and then you saw big rally up as well. Again, I think I'm not worried about crypto right now. I just have no reason to be. I don't see why we should be. I think, again, don't be emotional, be logical. Things are also going according to the script. That's crazy. Calling him a pet is crazy. I can't lie. I cannot lie. If Casper wasn't worth holding, other projects wouldn't be calling themselves Casper Killer. Also very true. Also very true. 5 years. I mean, 5 years would be a good time. I think 5 years Cas will be completely unrecognizable by then. He regularly tells me he can easily replace me. I'm not special and I should be grateful that he still finds me entertaining. Yeah, I do. Just gotta sit back and enjoy the ride. I completely agree. Just enjoy what's coming. I feel like alt season is entirely dependent on the liquidity cycle, everything that will hit all at once, and we've got parabolic. We only need like 108k to move the price 2% on MEXC. I mean, yeah, again, alt season will come alt season will come with liquidity when it rotates out of Bitcoin. It will come. Again, I'm not worried about when it will come. It'll just take some time. Again, think about the last 2 cycles as well. We saw Bitcoin dominance reach 73% in the last 2 cycles, here and here. You know, so I'm expecting to see that again. At least 73%. So we can still see Bitcoin go higher, and then we'll see alt season come back when the dominance falls off, and they will do with ETFs coming out and stuff like that as well. Could you not be right? We won't see fireworks until money printing and or quantitative easing. I mean, also possible as well. I think right now investors are so headstrong and demanding that we get money printing from the Fed that they don't want to see anything else. Although again, to pile out the M2, we don't need it. The M2 is showing how much money is in the economy right now. We don't need the money printing from the Fed. Of course, it helps. We don't need it. So maybe it's more so a psychological thing that we need it, as opposed to actually anything else. Quick money is nice, but I'm here for the long haul. Same. Quick money is very nice, and of course, you want quick money, you go to the proof of stakes, the high risk, the meme coins, all the stuff, the trading, that stuff that I do provide, and do stuff in my VIP groups here. But again, for the long haul, just hold Casper. Render and a few others have been delisted. Yeah, I saw that actually. I don't know why Render. When I saw that list, I was surprised that Render's been delisted from Coinbase. I don't know what they're playing at, really. I am worth something. Glad you have some hope in, brother. Okay, let's stay on track, people. See you later. Happy crypto. Hey, good to have you, Israel, brother. You're doing very, very well. And, yeah, we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. Jay, do you follow the live streams on Blockchain Banter? I tune into them every now and then. I didn't tune into the last one, but I tend to join them every now and then when I see them live. Yeah, I do, and of course the stuff they're bigger than me than I am, so they have a lot of the actual insider people there who talk about the stuff. So they probably have a lot more information. But sometimes I will get my information from there as well. But I'll hopefully tune into the next one, and when I do, then hopefully I'll see some of you in there as well. According to Coinbase, Render has updated and is no longer compliant to their standards. I mean, fair enough, but I mean, I don't really have much points for that. Fair enough. Maybe they're just, again, Coinbase is becoming heavily regulated. So, it is what it is, right? I think Render's a decent AI project. I think it'll do very well the cycle as well. But of course, being delisted from Coinbase is not going to help out with its price. It's not going to give a lot of hopium to the holders. So, but yeah, I mean, if it returns to all-time highs, Render, that's still a 3x from here. Will it do? Still have to wait and see again. It's an AI project, so AIs do hold a little bit of weight still. We'll see that push later on the cycle, so we'll have to wait and see though. But with that being said, if you enjoyed it, always leave a like, share with your friends, and subscribe for more. Family, thank everyone once more for watching. If you want to tune in to learn more, we've got the free community here. Equally, the VIP group, a lot more information in there as well. They're putting Render, they're pulling Render to put on Casper for the rumor. Yeah, there you go, Mr. Miles said it there. Casper's going to Coinbase very, very soon. That being said, have a great day, evening, and good night, my family. Things are coming back right now. It's frustrating, of course, but smart contracts are very, very close. So more excitement, I think, is on the horizon. We'll just have to be patient once more. Don't be emotional and be logical. And I will see you all in the next one. Take care now.